Hi guys, this is Unit 3, Week 3 and 4 audio for the test. So follow along with me and answer the questions, and hopefully you will be able to get this done at a decent pace, and you'll be able to work on any of your independent work that you need to. So this one is playing volleyball. Volleyball is a team sport that encourages sharing the ball for success. Each side has 6 players on the court at one time. There cannot be more than 3 hits or ball touches per side. Players can pass by putting their arms together and bumping the ball off the inside of their forearms. This action is called a bump. They can also set or spike the ball. A set is made with a light flick with the fingertips at the level of the forehead. The player cannot hold the ball in this set position, only fling it in the air for another player to spike it. A spike is a hard overhand hit that flies quickly onto the court on the other side of the net. Teams strive to have 3 players touch the ball before sending it over the net with the hope of scoring. The first player bumps the ball to the setter who is near the net. The setter then sets the ball to the hitter who spikes the ball over the net. Individual plays are an essential element of volleyball. Serving starts the game in motion. To serve, a player stands at the back of the court on his or her side. The player serves the ball over the net to the opposing team. Although most beginners serve by striking the ball using an underhand motion, more advanced players can strike the ball overhead. An overhead serve is not easy to do at first, and a player can develop it over time. Tossing the ball high in the air is one way for the server to generate speed when approaching and striking the ball. This technique leads to the ball blasting off like a rocket over the net. If the ball crosses the back court line, the serve does not count. The ball then goes to the other team. A player with a strong serve can show individual skill while scoring points for the team, especially if the other team is unable to receive the serve and put the ball in motion. Another individual skill that helps the team is blocking. With blocking, a player stands at the net without touching it. If a player on the opposite team spikes the ball, the blocker can reach up above the net and block it from crossing the net. If successful, a block can cause a side out where the ball goes to the blocker's side. Often, 2 players will jump side to side with their arms up to create an even wider wall to block the ball. Referees make sure that the rules of the games are being followed by all players. They watch the players carefully to check that the rules are followed and make a signal when the ball bounces inside or outside the line. Referees ensure the game is played correctly and fairly. Succeeding at volleyball is a delicate balance of teamwork and individual skills. Players must focus on serving, setting, and spiking to cause a side out. Opposing players can jump up and attempt to block the ball from going over the net. Developing each of these skills will help tip the scales in your team's favor. Now that you've been introduced to the rules, let's play some volleyball. Question number 1. Base your answers on the passage above. You need to circle 2. Which 2 sentences from the passage express main ideas of the passage? A, volleyball is a team sport that encourages sharing the ball for success. B, each side has 6 players on the court at one time. C, players can pass by putting their arms together and bumping the ball off the insides of their forearms. D, individual plays are an essential element of volleyball. Or E, a player with a strong serve can show individual skill while scoring points for the team, especially if the other team is unable to receive the serve and put the ball in motion. 2 sentences. You need to pick 2. Question number 2. This question has 2 parts. Part A, what does the author mean by saying that an overhead strike leads to the ball blasting off like a rocket? What does it mean? A, the serve can be dangerous. B, the ball moves with great force. C, the ball moves as quickly as a rocket. Or D, the serve moves straight up in the air. Part B, why is this description of the ball important? A, it shows that volleyball is a quick game to learn. B, it shows that an overhead serve is easy for players to return. C, it shows that an overhead serve is a powerful move worth learning. Or D, it shows that only adults should attempt to learn how to overhead serve. Number 3, read this sentence from the passage. Tossing the ball high in the air is one way for the server to generate speed when approaching and striking the ball. The Latin root gen means birth. What does generate mean as it is used in a sentence? Does it mean begin, create, multiply, or reduce? Number 4 says read this sentence from the passage. They watch the players carefully to check that the rules are followed and make a signal when the ball bounces inside or outside the line. The Latin root sign means mark. Explain what signal means as it's used in the sentence. Support your answer with evidence from the passage. This is a race strategy question, so I should see an R, an A, a C, and an E in your answer. Race strategy question, 3 to 4 sentence answer. Number 5, this question has 2 parts. Part A, why does the author use the phrase tip the scales in paragraph 5? A, to explain that developing volleyball skills can help your team win. B, to explain that developing volleyball skills can help you gain confidence. C, to explain that developing volleyball skills can make you stronger and more athletic. D, to explain that developing volleyball skills can give your team an unfair advantage. And then part B, which clue in the paragraph supports the answer in part A? A, players must focus. B, opposing players. C, each of these skills, or D, your team's favor. Once you're done, we're going to go ahead and go to the next passage, which is be prepared. Natural disasters happen all over the world. They include floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, landslides, and wildfires. Every family needs a plan in case an unexpected disaster strikes a home or community. Disaster plans will vary, and each family should consider the type of emergency most likely to occur. Common natural disasters. Flooding is a common emergency. Some floods, called flash floods, develop quickly following heavy rainfall, and they usually affect only a limited area. Other floods develop slowly and affect large areas. Although some floods occur in places never affected before, many places flood often. If you live in such an area, your family should be prepared at all times. Have an emergency kit, food and water, and a plan for evacuation or leaving the affected area. Hurricanes usually occur in coastal states. They are predicted several days to as much as a week ahead of time. When a hurricane strikes, high winds can cause serious damage and flooding is possible. Flooding results from a surge of water from the ocean or Gulf. Authorities can mandate that you go to a different location, so it is good to have an evacuation route planned. You might want to arrange to stay with friends or family relatives. Many communities often open centers that are safer than homes in a hurricane. If your center does not accept pets, you will need an alternative plan for the pet. Ahead of time, make sure your pet has had immunizations. An ID tag will help you and your pet get separated. If you and your pet get separated, and a carrier or cage will protect your pet. Tornadoes are violent storms that can do serious damage and that can develop with little warning. Just before one touches down, you would notice one or more of the following: a dark sky, large hail, the air that is ominously still, a low cloud that might be rotating or turning in a circle, a loud roar. If you are in a building when a tornado is brewing, go to the basement or an inside room. Experts say that you should stay away from windows and outside walls. If you are outside, lie flat in the lowest place and cover your head with your hands. There are steps everyone should take no matter what the risks are in your area. First, it is important that your family meets to make a plan before a disaster occurs so that you all know how to act in an emergency situation. You will need to decide on a place for everyone to meet following a disaster, and you will need to know where the emergency supplies are kept. In an emergency like a fire, plan to meet at a location right outside. Remember that family members might be in school and at work when a disaster strikes. So plan to go to a place where you can meet if you cannot return home. It's good to have a charged cell phone handy. Below is a checklist you can use to be prepared for an emergency. Gather emergency supplies for each person, 1 gallon of water a day for 3 to 7 days, packed and canned meat and fruits and vegetables and fish, manual can opener, special foods for family members such as baby food, pet food if you have a pet, first aid kit with bandages, gauze, pads, antiseptics, and scissors, portable radio, flashlight, and batteries. Other items, paper cups, plates, and plastic utensils, paper towels and other paper products, trash bags, sturdy shoes, and warm clothing, blankets, sleeping bags. Knowing what to expect and being prepared for the worst will help you and your family survive in an emergency. So here we go. Number 6, fill in the bubble before one sentence from the paragraph that states the main idea of the passage. So A, you're looking for the main idea of the passage. A, natural disasters can happen all over the world. Or is it B, that they include floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, landslides, and wildfire? Or is it C, every family needs a plan in case an unexpected disaster strikes a home or community? Or is it D, disaster plans will vary and each family should consider the type of emergency most likely to occur? Number 7, the Latin root vary means change. What does vary, V-A-R-Y, mean as it's used in the paragraph 1? If you go back up to paragraph 1, you're going to see it says, every family needs a plan. Oh, wait. Disaster plans will vary, and each family should consider the type of emergency most likely to occur. So, vary is right up there. So, let's go back down to our question. What does vary mean as it's used in paragraph 1? Show, explain, be needed, or be different. What is one way in which the author uses a problem and solution text structure by introducing 3 different natural disasters and explaining how to prepare for them, by listing areas where natural disasters occur and then recommending safer areas to live, by including different examples of emergency plans that specific families use, by explaining how and why pets should get immunized. Number 9, the Latin root DICT means to say. What does predicted mean as it's used in the passage, or paragraph 3, I'm sorry. Again, you go back up to paragraph 3 and you can see it. They are predicted several days to as much as a week ahead of time. So we're going to go back down here to this question. What does predicted mean as it's used in this paragraph? Damaged, organized, argued about, or declared in advance. And then number 10, your last question, you're filling in the bubbles to create a summary of how people can prepare for emergencies. So you have 3 sentences and you are putting them in order, essentially. So step 1, step 2, and step 3. So what will be the first step? What will be the second? What will be the third? So first step, or third or second or third, talk as a family to develop an emergency plan. Which step would that be? Consider the possible emergencies where you live. What step would that be? Discuss where to meet and keep supplies. So you put these 3 things in order. Step 1, step 2, step 3. All right. When you're done, make sure your name is on your paper and you can turn it into the basket by the window, and you can work on independent work, which will be up on the board.